Today, we are breaking down the full validation of debt process. Not only are we breaking down the full validation of debt process, but I'm going to share the letters with you as well as tell you what you shouldn't use this on because you can get yourself in a little bit of a jam. All right. Not only that, but I'm going to explain what this can be used on, as well as we're going to look at a couple of things on the go-to credit swoop cheat sheet. And you're going to want to make sure that you stay around to the end because I'm going to show you where you can get access to 290 different dispute reasons covering all types of accounts, collections, charge-offs, debt buyers, repossessions, identity theft, inquiries, you name it, it is on here, as well as I'm going to show you what's included in all of these dispute letters. There's 180 pages in this full dispute letter library, and I'm going to share with you exactly where you can find it, right? But first, let's go check out the collection tactics playbook. Okay. And you can see the link right there on the screen. You can instantly access it at sendme2.co/collections. All right. But so many people are using this incorrectly that we need to talk about it. Okay. And this does include the KO method for collections as well as proof of contract. But did you know that this process can be used on way more than just collections? Okay. You can actually contact the original creditor as long as it's outside the statute of limitations and uses for charge-offs. All right. So this is super, super, super powerful. And let's just go look at why this works. Let's get that out of the way. Let's look at why this works. All right. Just so you know, this also has 24 different violations for collections. All right. So if you want to remove collections, you definitely want to get access to this. So let's go look at the validation of debt. All right, so let's scroll down here. We're using two very specific laws, and they are on your side. We have the FCRA, it's section 623A3, and FDCPA, section 8078. Okay, so here is the deal. I always recommend using both of these laws when you are attacking your bad credit. All right, we're not just going after one. And we're actually using the notice of dispute to remove these. I mean, I use it on round 3. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to say there for a second, but we use these all the time on round 3 and it works. But just the existence of a law doesn't mean anything unless you can enforce it. Okay. So let's go check out FCRA section 623. Responsibilities of furnishers of information to consumer reporting agencies. Duty to provide notice of dispute. Look at that. Duty to provide notice of dispute. If the completeness or accuracy of any information furnished by any person, meaning the actual data furnisher, to any consumer reporting agency, the credit bureau, is disputed to such person by a consumer, meaning you are disputing it with them, the person may not furnish the information to any consumer reporting agency without the notice that such information is disputed by the consumer. Why is that important? It's important because 9 times out of 10, this notice is not going to go on there and therefore it'll be in violation. And as you can see, if that notice is not on there and it's within 30 days, that, hey, this cannot report on there. So that's why we use this in a very specific manner. For third-party collections, we are actually disputing directly with the collector first because they're less likely to put this notice on your credit report, which means that you have a higher likelihood of violation, which means that they cannot report it without the notice that it has been disputed. All right, let's go and look at FDCPA section 807. It says the same or is literally the same. False or misleading representations, communicating or threatening to communicate to any person credit information which is known or which should be known to be false, including the failure to communicate that a disputed debt is disputed. All right, so long story short, what the law means and how they can help you. My advice is not to read all this mumbo jumbo unless you want to be bored out of your mind. We talked about that the other day. But you're going to notice a couple of things here. I only used the 2 above and they work great. Here's how. Part 1. All right. This is FDCPA 8078. If you want to remove your collections, please listen carefully. If you want to remove your charge-offs, please listen carefully. This law deals directly with the banks, credit card companies, and collection agencies. The big key here is that they are required to contact the credit bureaus on your behalf and make sure that they add this sentence to your credit report within 30 days that says that you have disputed the negative item in question. The sentence would appear something like this, and you hear me say this all the time: consumer has disputed the validity of this item. They almost never add this. All right, sometimes they do, but it's going to be within like 60 days. What's too bad for them is that by law, they have to do it within 30 days. All right. We're simply going to prove You see this keyword here? Prove. Because again, you don't see me over here dancing and pointing to things and just pretending that just because some law exists, you're going to get deletions. No, we have to prove that they didn't do it within 30 days, and then they're going to be liable to you for damages up to $1,000 per occurrence. Now, let's just pause right there real quick. Why are we pausing? Well, because in the comment section of some of my videos, someone said, "Well, how do I sue them to get that $1,000?" And I'm like, "Well, hey, don't you want that deletion instead of the $1,000? I mean, like the negative item's still going to be there. It's still going to be harder for you to get your cars and your loans and all that kind of stuff when you could literally just remove this from your credit report, right? Big idea there. Remove it from your credit report and go out and get more than $1,000. How about that? Ding dong. All right. So it's important to note that you are allowed to dispute anything on your credit report. I mean, it technically doesn't matter if something is true and accurate, okay? It's the responsibility of the creditor to maintain accurate records and to follow the law within the required timeframes. That's literally all it comes down to, all right? And just so you know, we are trying to become a pain in the butt, all right? All they have to do is make us go away. To make us go away is to remove the item or the account. All right. And if they don't, it continues to get worse from there. I say, let's go and look at part 2, FCRA 623 AC. This law is very similar to the FDCPA that we already went over. It requires the credit bureau to report that you have disputed something on your credit report after you have contacted them directly. Okay. The big key here again is that they have to do it within 30 days. And, you know, most of the time they're not doing this, especially after COVID, putting that notice of dispute on there, but they are more likely to do this than the collector. Now, just so you know, Section 623 also says that you need to contact the bureaus first prior to contacting the original creditor. So we are only contacting the collector first, not the original creditor first. All right. So keep that in mind. Now, let's just go and talk about what you don't want to use this on. We don't want to use this on anything that's within the statute of limitations or that has a high balance. All right. So third party collections, I normally use this process with them, but if it has a high balance, regardless of anything else, I'm not going to do it. So, you go into the hospital and, it's $21,000. I'm not going to do it unless it's outside the statute of limitations. However, debt buyer collections, like you didn't pay Capital One, you didn't pay American Express, you didn't pay for, your repossession. I'm not doing that unless it's outside the statute of limitations. All right. And even then I may think twice about it. Okay. So you want to keep that in mind here. Now, they almost never do put this notice of dispute on here. And again, if they do, they may do it after that timing has passed. And we don't care about that. They have to do it within that time period. All right. And they will remove your bad credit mark. They don't want to pay you. They do not want to go on public record as having lost a court case to you. Okay. So let's go and look at part 3. And again, we are going to go over the dispute letters because so many people do not know where to find these, even though I'm giving them to you all over the place. But, hey, look, part 3. If by some miracle, both the bureaus and the creditors do add the disputed sentence to your credit report within the 30-day time frame, we have another avenue. Keep in mind that 99.9% of the people reading this will never resort to this. You're going to go down, you're going to file small claims, and you know what? If you want to figure out exactly how to do that, you can use that link on your screen. All right. Instantly access sendme2.co/collections. Okay. And let's go and look at the actual dispute letters themselves. So when you get to this page, you are just going to go right here where it says VOD dispute letters. You just click and it's going to pull up. All right. Now, the cool thing about this is that I made it super, super simple for you. All you are doing is filling in the part that is highlighted. You see where it says part 1, letter 1. It even gives you instructions. Send directly to the bank or agency that reported a derogatory or collection item to the credit bureaus. You're going to put the date, your name and address to the original creditor or bank, and you're going to reference the account number to whom it may concern. This letter is regarding account number blah, 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 which you claim, and you insert a derogatory condition here, such as, I owe $200 or my account was charged off for $800. This is a formal notice that your claim is disputed. Now, if you don't know different dispute reasons or why you should be disputing something and all of that. We're going to get to that. We have these 290 different dispute reasons, and we also have all these different dispute letters, and I'm going to show you exactly what's included in there. All right. Pausing right there. If you want to see if I can get you personalized help with your credit and do a credit sweep for you, that link is already at the top of your screen, my740.com. All right. Let's go back to this. I'm requesting validation made pursuant to the FDCPA. Please note that I'm requesting validation that is competent evidence bearing my signature showing that I have or ever had some contractual obligation to pay you. All right. Now, this goes on and on and on, but we want them to either just not respond, and that's estoppel by silence. They're agreeing with us by not responding, or we just want them to just, whatever, and not put the notice of dispute. Okay. It's really, really simple. All right. But you do want to send these out certified because we're going to need to be able to prove that they received it. They didn't put that notice of dispute. And then now we will be able to either go to small claims or, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to go and do that. Or we're going to take this to the CFPB, the AG, the BBB, and the FTC. All right. So all the other letters are exactly like this, except for they are different in the steps. So this is part 1, letter 2A. Send this second letter only if you receive a letter back from a creditor in reply to letter number 1 saying that your account was verified as legitimate. So this is a different letter asking for different things, telling them different stuff, all right? Now we have part 1, letter number 3. And you're actually going to send this one if you have not heard back from the creditor or if they have continued to verify the item without proof. Okay. And that one has different things that we're requesting, different, things that we're saying. Letter 4, this is still part 1. Send if your creditor responds with proof of your original signature, but wait until the 31st day and make sure that they have not marked the item as disputed on your credit report. Now we have part 2, letter 2A. We're going to send this if you receive a letter back from the credit bureau saying that your account was verified as legitimate. All right, we have different things that we're asking there, different things that we're telling them there. Part 2, letter 2B, send this letter to the credit bureau if you do not get any response from letter number 1. We have part 2, letter number 3, which we're going to send if you have not heard back from the credit bureau or if they continue to verify the item without proof. And now we also have the small claims action. Okay. So this is literally going over what you're going to do. It's very, very simple. It's very, very straightforward. Okay. So if you are wondering if a collection even can be removed and how, to dispute a collection and the different violations for a collection, then this is the one that you're going to want to use. If you want to understand the validation of debt for disputing charge-offs, you're also going to use this method, validation of debt for items that are outside the statute of limitation, or you're not really worried about being sued. Okay. Now, there's other ways to remove negative items, and that is going to be the go-to credit sweep secrets cheat sheet playbook. I know that's like a mouthful, right? So the first one you can access at sendme2.co/collections, right? And that one was that, just so we can go over this together, that the VOD can be used on more than just collections, violations, proof, and notice of dispute, FCRA 623 and FDCPA 8078, right? Now we are on a different one. This one is going to be very, 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 very simple. You can access this at sendme2.co/cheat sheet. And again, stay around because I'm going to let you in on the deal that I have included over 180 different pages of dispute letters, my full dispute letter library, as well as the 290 dispute reasons, as well as this go-to credit sweep cheat sheet and the collection tactics playbook. All right. Now, let's go back and look at this. So this go-to credit sweep cheat sheet can also be used for disputing collections. Right here, debt buyer collections. Let's just go and open that. This shows you how to dispute debt buyer collections. We also have one for disputing third-party collections. This is not on the other one. This is column 3 where it says third-party collections. It also tells you how to remove late payments. It also tells you how to remove charge-offs. It also has a video that explains everything. It shows you how to create the perfect dispute letter. It also shows you how to create the perfect dispute reason. It gives you letter maximums. It gives you a little bit of a summary for validation of debt. It also explains the different types of letters that you can write with example dispute letters. And it has a checklist, questions to answer for round number 2, dispute letter checklist, all the things that you should remove in your instances of in your letters, and what you should include for your identification. Now, let's go over to the other thing. So I have a deal that I'm running right now, and this was also requested. This is going to be the link that you can access this at. You can get yours now at sendme2.co/197. All right. If you purchase these individually, it'll be on the upwards of $325. Right now, you can get it for $149 or $197. It includes the collection tactics playbook that we already went over, the go-to credit sweep cheat sheet, which includes all of this. All of my secrets are in here. I'm telling you, you definitely want this. It also includes 290 dispute reasons. We're going to go look at that right now. And the full dispute letter library. Okay. So, you know what? Let's go look at the full dispute letter library first. All right. So, this literally covers everything you could possibly think of for writing dispute letters to the credit bureaus. And no, you are not writing them verbatim. Okay. You are obviously going to change things. This just gives you a structure to understand what type of dispute you should be sending out for that specific situation. This would be like correcting your personal information, disputing inquiries, request verification when no answer from the collection agency, request verification of a judgment, disputing inaccurate information, disputing incomplete reporting of an account, credit limit on collections, delinquent past due amounts after the account was closed or charged off, undated late payments, date of last activity dispute, the updated verified discrepancy dispute, item not included in bankruptcy, incorrect balance on an item included in bankruptcy. I mean, literally everything you could possibly think of, it is already in here. Request for investigation procedures, method of verification, follow-up, reply when accused of credit repair. That's a big one right now. Let's look at that. So reply when accused of credit repair. Why am I pointing that out? Well, here's the deal. Millions of consumers are getting this. Hundreds of my clients are getting this. If you're working on your own credit, you're probably getting that same response. So you definitely want to know how to reply to this, because they're using Section 623 against you and basically saying that because you are working with a third party, that they can ignore you when no, they cannot. Okay. Now, there's disputes to the bureaus, to the creditors, and to the collectors. These are the original creditor disputes down here for inquiries, for charge-offs, confirmation of debt settlement, collector disputes, VOD letter A, B, C, D, E, F. Those are different letters than the ones I just gave you. The validation of debt estoppel by silence, where they are agreeing to you by not responding. Settlement offers, you name it, it's in here. If you want to access these 180 pages of dispute letters, then hey, my friend, the link is already on your screen. And now, lastly, let's go and look at the dispute reasons that we have here. Let's go and look at the dispute reasons that we have here. All right. There's 290 of them. They include, let's go look at the different ones. It is collections, third party, late payments, inquiries, judgments, liens, identity theft, repos, collection debt buyer, charge-offs. There's a lot of them for charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcy, student loans, child support, and that is it. All right. So if you want to access the collection tactics playbook, your go-to credit sweep cheat sheet, the dispute reasons, that are 290 of them, and 180 pages of dispute letters, all of those letters that we just went over. Look at this. There's so many of them, 180 pages. Then use the link on your screen. Now, the very last thing that I want to bring up is that you can actually go to sendme2.co/CRM, and you can act a brand new CRM. This is if you are currently using a manual process. This is not my full credit repair, software. This does not generate dispute letters. This is literally if you are creating manual progress reports, or you need assistance with tracking your clients, their accounts, when the letters are due, tasks, and their credit scores. This is literally all it does. One of the cool things that I wasn't able to show you the other night was mass update. So I went and I added that plugin. There's 4 different plugins in here. So let me just go to my admin area. So plugins, mass update. So the way that this works, let me just go back to my user area. So the way that this works is, let me go to tasks. So we have it where we have two different tasks, one for Bob and then another one for Bob. So if I select more than one, I go to more and I can actually change the task status for both of them. Maybe I want them both to be completed. Now, I am actually going to add this in to my full credit repair software because as you can see, that would be really cool to just go and update things without having to do it one by one, right? But if we go back to the CRM page, if we had more than one client account, we could change the dispute type, or different clients, the due dates. As you can see, that would be very, very, very useful. I've added that in. I've corrected all the errors in here. So if you want to access that, it's only $37. Why wouldn't you? If you're using a manual process, stop and get rid of the spreadsheets because it is just bogging it down. All right. So I created that for you. I also created these other things for you. So if you want to go and check that out, I'm going to give you all the links right now. Send me to.co/197. That is going to be for you to access this package. All right. Send me to.co/collections if you just want the collections tactics playbook. Send me to.co/get my cheat sheet if you just want this go-to credit sweep cheat sheet. All right. So I know there's a lot of links, but I made it very, very simple. There's only 3 of them up there other than this one, which is to schedule a call with me to see if I can take over your file, which you see at the top of your screen. So I hope that this clarifies how to use the validation of debt and when you should not be using it, because I do not want you to get sued. I do not want you to get in trouble. I don't want anybody coming after you. I want for you to remove your negative items permanently and to move on with your life. All right. So that is it for today. I hope you have a great one and I will see you later.